This is the Boomtank Business Show. I am Carolyn Cole, your show host and founder of Boomtank.com. Boomtank is where business success and happiness meet. For nearly 2 decades, I was a Fortune 100 and Fortune 200 company trial attorney. Now I make the case on behalf of your business dreams and happiness too. If you're looking for more business success and happiness, this is your show. I can help you create both. You deserve to have it all, and you can. Let's go. Welcome to episode 80 of the Boomtank Business Show. I can't believe it's been 80 episodes. That's crazy to me. This is the Boomtank Business Show's relaunch. I'm so excited to bring you this episode, and to be fully open about it, it is liberating. It's new, fresh, and totally honors growth. Keep that in mind as you build your success. Never be shy about going bigger when it's time, and I'm all about going bigger for me and my clients. You and I have so much in common, so let this be a liberating episode for you too. Doesn't that sound fun? I'm going to share lots of great business, personal, and professional lessons in this relaunch episode. Going forward, the show is going to be much more relaxed, revealing, entertaining, and feature more great guests who talk business, business success, professional success, and happiness. The show's tagline, that it was for sharp female entrepreneurs and cool guys who support them, is gone. Boomtank, my company, and the show have both grown to be so much more, which it was designed to do. The new tagline for the show and my brand is now Boomtank, where business success and happiness meet. You deserve to have it all, and you can. Professional success, by the way, is included in business success. I now work with C-suite executives, business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals, so the new tagline and broadened branding reflects that big growth and change. This past December, the show's download numbers tripled, and the show was finally gaining steam. I knew then it was time to revamp it because it was now a smart move to devote more energy to it. But in a much smarter, engaging way. In January and February of this year, 2018, I also came to terms with the fact my entire brand had grown to the point of needing to up-level and broaden my public brand, my programs, and my reach. I spent late March, April, and this part of May redoing it all to make room for all the big stuff that has arrived, with more on the way. To date, I haven't shared a lot of my story with you. I wanted to be on solid ground before I talked with you about the quicksand and bad days along the way, and there were plenty. You have them too. I want you to win in business professionally and personally, and you can. I really mean that. You can have amazing success and happiness that can be your new life. But the reality is, though, you will have tough days, and that's okay. It's life, and we all have them, but hang in there. There is great learning in those tough days, and they do make you smarter and better if you apply the lessons thrown at you and you just keep going. This is not a race or sprint. It's not a full-blown marathon either, so don't get discouraged if it takes time. It's not going to take forever for you to be successful and happy. Success is built on bringing your greatness to each day consistently. When you have a bad day or bad days, have them. Take the lessons and keep going. So let me share more about the podcast. I started this podcast roughly 1.5 years ago with the aim of just getting it going, and I treated it like my other social media platforms. I gave what I could, but it was not my focus. Neither were they. My focus was on building the actual pillars of my business, client programs, client workshops, and other unique programs, and using the podcast when I had time to educate and build my brand and reach. But I could only give it so much because there were only so many hours in a day and in a given week. And that's the lesson I pass to you. Focus on the most important aspects of your business and professional success. Don't treat everything the same, because they are not. Prioritize on building your actual client base and serving paying customers first. That's a business, and that's what I did to build success. Having a super podcast was always important to me, and you, the other listeners, were always on my mind, and I wanted to deliver great things to you, but behind the scenes, I almost fractured into a million pieces trying to balance it all, and I didn't do the show as well as I could have. I was a complete one-woman show running every aspect of everything, and I had horrible moments. I talk now with my clients about avoiding this trap and still have to catch myself even now so I don't fall back into it. Just because I advise against it doesn't mean I'm innocent of it. It's a common ailment of successful, energetic types like you and me. I completely plead guilty to that, and now that I've built a fast-growing business, I've gotten crystal clear on things I need to stop doing to have big success and happiness. I personally suffer from having one speed, and it's go. Truthfully, it's go, go, go. And this speed means I want to execute on things super fast and in a large way. Because of this, I was largely doing all the business myself because I didn't want to hire others others to be on demand to keep up with me. First off, that was never going to work for them or me. Secondly, that would never be right. It's just a flawed plan from beginning to end. I knew I had to get to a certain growth point where I could hire the help I needed when I'd figured more out. I had to figure it out, and I had success. That said, I highly advise you to hire very early if you can. I wish I had, and I had made that a priority. It would have helped me figure out a lot of things sooner because I would have had more heads in the game, not just mine, and more hands at work. And it would have given me time to find better, faster solutions and more flexibility to grow. So let's talk about speed and overworking. I have learned the hard and valuable way to watch my health. If you've noticed me peeling back sometimes on releasing episodes, it has been to focus on big pieces in my business and maintain my health, sanity, and happiness. Trust me, to have a super successful business, you need all three as constant partners to achieve it. Here is a great example. I have edited all of my podcast shows, and we're not even talking about every piece of my larger business and other social media. We're just going to talk podcast show episodes. I edited all of them to date. No one else, just me. My guest episodes took 4 to 6 hours to edit and polish, and then there was another 3 hours involved in writing show notes, loading the sound files for iTunes, posting on my website, posting on all social media channels, and doing the graphics too for the episodes. Sometimes I released 1 episode weekly, sometimes 3, depending on weekly and monthly demands, and that varied as I was helping clients and growing my business. It was back-breaking work, but I hung in knowing it would all work, and it has. But I tortured myself, and I really didn't have to. I should have hired help, and I should have been much more relaxed about it all. My show's format, my publication schedule, my editing, applying the things I've just described would have greatly improved the show faster. I still torture myself with wanting to do too much, but a wiser me is now doubling down on a consistent pre-planned content creation schedule, which my business growth has let me now have. With success comes the ability to do a lot more, with not a whole lot more work than you are already doing. In time, it can be even less. A truly successful business owner, as Wendy English, one of my guests, said, is one who works themselves out of a job. In my case, the goal is to work myself out of several jobs I should never have been doing in the first place, one of them being podcast editing. Here's my new schedule breakdown now. 1 new podcast episode will be released on Wednesdays with the goal of returning to multiple episodes weekly. I'm also producing 2 new weekly live stream shows for the summer, one from my office titled Is It Me or My Business, where I focus on business tips, success and happiness, and professional ones too for the audience, and I take questions from the audience. The other show is Winning in Business Live, where I feature business owners locally here at my beach or across the country to share their business story, expertise, what they attribute their success to, and how their success and happiness meet. I'm also running a business with amazing clients. My signature programs have all evolved to exciting brand new 90-day programs. I will be marketing them over the next 12 months and beyond, and the videos for them are being professionally filmed. They also involve one-on-one coaching. They're bigger, bolder, and deeper. Again, these are for C-suite executives, business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals seeking either an expert business redesign to get out of struggle and into success, a personal brand redesign to confidently rebrand, get seen, and get heard, or a life redesign for more success and happiness. I have high-profile speaking engagements coming along with podcast interviews where I'm the featured guest. I'm active now on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, and looking to grow my reach on all of those platforms. For me to do the show well, given that schedule, it has to be 1 great episode weekly for the time being. And if I want to grow it beyond that at any time, I can. The podcast is an asset. It is a piece of my business. It is not my entire business. It is a powerful way to reach others and help. I love the show and you, the listeners. And now for some personal highlights. So who am I and why Boomtank? As I said earlier, for nearly 2 decades, I was a Fortune 100 and Fortune 200 company senior trial attorney. Now I make the case on behalf of your business dreams and happiness too. I practice law in the Maryland and Washington, D.C. metro area. Earlier in my career, I tried cases in Washington, D.C. and the entire state of Maryland. I was very successful and at times extremely happy, but on balance, as my career grew and the promotions came quickly, happiness left. It was truly all work and no play, like most demanding jobs. And I know you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I always wanted my own business at some point. On both sides of my family, 2 generations removed, were very successful entrepreneurs. I had in my mind more freedom, fun, and wanting the sheer feeling of doing exactly what I wanted to do and be exactly who I wanted to be and creating what I was born to create. The feeling just consumed me. Always. I always had it. But I had family and personal relationships and obligations like most of you and put it off and kept putting it off. I was too busy to stop, too busy to pause, too busy to figure it out. I came close though. In my late 30s, at age 38, I earned a master's from Johns Hopkins University in a record 22 months while working as a full-time trial attorney. The master's was in organization development, and I loved it. My plan was to start an OD consultancy right after graduation. I had a final project in my master's with Hewlett-Packard International that went very well. Immediately after receiving my master's, I started my own consultancy business while I was still working as a trial attorney, and the consultancy took off fast. On weekends, I was flying either to meet my OD clients to give them presentations or meeting other OD clients in the DC metro area. And then my health broke. I've never talked about this on my show or anyone else's show because I don't like to give negative things power by speaking about them, but there's good in telling you because I believe the power of perseverance, especially with what I went through, has had a major role in creating my true success and happiness. So here's one of my stories of perseverance, and I have a lot of them. This very short story is I was diagnosed with melanoma syndrome at age 38. The top plastic surgeon at Johns Hopkins Hospital, my wonderful Dr. Paul Manson, said to my mother and father, "I'm going to try and save your daughter." Those words were shattering. I'd pushed my body to the brink with school and total work until it broke. That is a big lesson you don't forget. For years after the diagnosis, I was left to wonder if I would get a second chance because you just don't know. After 8 back-to-back surgeries, roughly 450 cuts, and 4,500 stitches later, it was a waiting game to see the outcome in the years to come. Nothing was guaranteed. I was so close when diagnosed to leaving my corporate career. That's what I planned to do. That's why I got the master's. That's why I started my consultancy, which was going great for a brand new venture. But now I had to decide. Should I stay or should I go? That was the question then. Staying meant complete health coverage, compensated sick days, long-term leave if I needed it in the years to come, ensuring I wouldn't be a burden to those I love if I got sick. It meant a big salary that was only going to get bigger. Leaving meant pursuing a dream with every conviction it would come true. And it also meant really living for the first time in my adult life. It meant true success and happiness on my terms. I'm just curious, what would you do? Here's what I did. I decided to stay. So I stayed in corporate, and I spent years there afterwards. But I was always looking at the horizon knowing I should choose differently. But still, I stayed. And the promotions kept coming, the salary grew, the bonuses grew, my reputation grew. And as those things grew, the more I truly wanted, and everything I truly aspired to be, and everything I felt I truly was, felt like it disappeared. I was always one breath away from leaving, but I didn't. But here's what I did do. I spent hours at night when I could. And even though I worked on weekends too, because the work was just huge, I would take hours on weekends still, somehow, and learn all I could about business and building a great one, about happiness and what that meant, about spirituality and where that was, about faith and how that worked. I had large business clients in my legal positions, so that helped too from the business end. I read all the books, watched all the webinars, studied great offline and online businesses. I still wouldn't give up. I was planning. Even though I was entrenched, I was still planning. I'll never forget it. I was at a birthday party here in my beach town now. It had been a pretty brutal work week. A long trial had just wrapped. We won, but at a price. I was completely exhausted. I barely made the 5-hour Friday night trip to the beach, but I did. It was 5 hours because it's bumper to bumper on a Friday night heading to the beach from every direction. While at this birthday party, a feeling came over me, and I can't describe it, and it wasn't alcohol I wasn't drinking. I remember looking at a friend of mine and saying out of the blue, "I'm leaving my job." I wasn't sure how exactly or when, but I knew I was committed to leaving and giving every dream I had a complete go before I left the planet. In that moment, I crystallized there was so much I wanted to do, personally and to help others. I fully breathed in the realization that my life had to have meaning. It had to mean something before I left the planet. I had to contribute something. And that not being able to contribute, that was a big part of my happiness that went missing. And I was determined to bring that piece home. It took a few more years from that point, but I left. And 3 years after leaving my near 2-decade corporate career, here I am. I am a person of deep faith and a true believer we are given the power to make our dreams and others' dreams come true. That's why I say, for nearly 2 decades, I was a Fortune 100 and Fortune 200 company senior trial attorney, and now I make the case on behalf of your business dreams and happiness too. That's why I say that. And this one story obviously is not the entire story. Someday, when there's more time, I'll fill you in on other big pieces that have shaped me and my life, because they're going to help you and yours. So let me recap the highlights of this episode for you. Your goal should be success, be it business success, professional success, personal success, and happiness. Because if you miss happiness, you will miss your life. I nearly missed my entire life with my corporate career. Truly, it was that close. And that feeling of wanting true success and happiness is what propelled the start of Boomtank and the show. I wanted to help others in the same boat as me find another way to truly live, truly contribute before they die. It's that simple. That's it. I want no regrets, and I want you to have no regrets either. Period. Again, it's that simple. This show is here to help you find that other way, and your way needs to be one that creates your success and happiness so you have freedom to live life on your terms and help support causes near to you, which in turn bring you real and great happiness. Life is far too short for anything less, and you already know that. That is a wrap for this relaunch episode. Thank you so much again for listening and supporting the show. You will create your success and happiness. Really believe you deserve to have it all, and you can. See you right here next time. It'd be great if you tell others about the show and join Boomtank's email list at boomtank.com to receive weekly updates and all sorts of good stuff. When you subscribe, you'll get free audio training. It's 2 short downloads. One contains the top life and business lessons from 10 of my expert guests on the Boomtank Business Show to date. The other is a super success meditation designed to get you revved up and rolling. Head over to boomtank.com and thank you.